Part of a historic moment that begins the process of bringing this landmark agreement into force.
Of South Africa, I would like to take this opportunity once again to express our appreciation for the role we were afforded as the chair of G77 plus China during the Paris negotiation process. I would particularly like to thank our member states for their support and cooperation, which enabled us to reach such an historic outcome. And on behalf of the G77 plus China, please, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to once again particularly single out one individual, Ambassador Diseko, for her invaluable role that she played as chair of the negotiators.
55 countries representing 55% of global greenhouse gas emissions must now ratify the agreement before it can enter into force.
South Africa is delighted to sign the Paris Climate Change Agreement today. We have already commenced domestic ratification process as well as the procedures to enable entry into force for implementation of the agreement in 2020. I'm pleased, therefore, to report that South Africa has put in place a climate change response policy with clear greenhouse gas mitigation and adaptation framework. This policy includes a range of measures aimed at achieving our overall national goals, which are reflected in our National Development Plan.
Urging countries to begin to close the emissions, adaptation and finance gaps before the agreement's entry into force deadline of 2020 is reached. While the agreement is only expected to come into force in 2020, countries are now being urged to speedily enact national legislation where required to ratify this international agreement and thereby ensure that it expeditiously comes into force. But experts also warn that in the absence of immediate action from countries in the next 5 years to scale up financing and cut fossil fuel emissions drastically, the goal of keeping temperature rises below 2 degrees Celsius might very well be slipping away. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.